everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Richard. I'm a part-time reseller on eBay where I buy things from garage sales, thrift stores, estate sales, estate auctions, and occasionally retail arbitrage. I take those undervalued items and I sell them on eBay for a profit. In this video, I'm going to go over the weekend sales, letting you know what I paid for the item, where I sourced the item from, and what the item sold for. So let's jump in and take a look. Today is Tuesday, November 29th, and we have 6 orders going out today. First item we have going out is this Logitech K380 multi-device Bluetooth keyboard. Picked this up at my local thrift store. I'm into it for $3. This sold for $15.26, and the buyer is paying $7.53 in shipping. Now, after I shipped out a set of these yesterday, which I had sold 2 sets, total of 8, I had 2 additional plates left, so I went and listed those yesterday. Those sold yesterday. It's these Johnson Brothers dinner plates. And picked these up in North Carolina. I bought the whole entire tub, which it had dinner plates, it had salad plates, and it had teacups, coffee cups, and saucers. These 2 plates sold for $23.95, and the buyer is paying $10.51 in shipping. Next item going out, thrift store item. Picked these up at my local thrift store. Picked up the entire set for $6. It's a set of these Balzergraph, if I pronounce that correctly, Heritage White. These are the cereal bowls. Now, when I listed these, I thought I actually had 8 of these. So I listed them in 2 separate lots. So I listed a quantity of 2 in sets of 4. When I sold these ones, I went and looked and realized the other ones were slightly different, so I had to end that listing, take new photos, and then relist it. These 4 bowls sold for $16.96, and the buyer is paying $10.71 in shipping. So that lot of dishes, we are already in the profit now, just off of 1 order. But the thing about dishes, a lot of times they are a long tail item. So when picking up dishes, you really want to be particular on the types of dishes that you pick up. So next item going out, picked up a box of Hot Wheels stuff. I went and decided just to go ahead and part everything out separately. I listed these track supports. They do go to the crisscross crash replacement track support. I put blue. That tub I only paid $2 for everything, and we're since in the profit on it. These 2 items sold for $18.62, and the buyer is paying $5.50 in shipping. Next item I have going out is this Tetris game. Another thrift store item. Only into this for 25 cents. Did put batteries in it and tested it. This sold for $9.31, and the buyer is paying $12 in shipping. Now, $12 in shipping, this tells me this is going eBay International. Last item we have going out is this Bedazzled machine. I did take it apart. It looked like it was new. All the attachments here were all still sealed. So this is how I displayed it. If you notice, when they're vintage, it's always good to leave the sticker on. This thing sold Hobby Lobby. And it has some, I'm not sure if these are actual years or what, but the original price at Hobby Lobby was $6.88. When I sell vintage items, I always tend to leave the original price on. Leave me a comment down below. Do you do that, or do you actually remove them? Paid $2 for this at my local thrift store. This sold for $15.26, and the buyer is paying $8 in shipping. Today is Wednesday, November 30th, and we have 3 orders going out today. First order we have going out is a bottle of this Avon little black dress. Picked this up at my local thrift store. I'm into it for $2.50. Avon, I would not suggest picking up Avon unless you get it cheap enough, because it is a long tail item. This sold for $21.71 and it is going free shipping. Now with perfume, this cannot go first class or it cannot go priority. This has to go ground. This next order going out, it's an item I picked up when I went to an estate auction. I was picking up a high bid haul, but they were having an estate sale going on. Went through it. Actually found a bunch of hats. They made me a deal on all the hats. There was well over 100 hats. If I can remember, I'll go ahead and post a link to the video right up here. I'm into all those hats for pennies. I have sold quite a few hats off of there. This one's been sitting a while. It's a Union Pacific Safety First Central Region. It is a snapback. This sold for $16.49 and the buyer is paying $5.90 in shipping. Next item going out, picked these up at my local thrift store last year after Christmas, when they were clearancing all the Christmas stuff out. Paid 25 cents for each of these. These are vintage glass ornaments. Lighted all 3 of these together. There's 5 in each package. I put the Victorian Collection Glass Christmas Ornaments, Roch Industries, made in the USA. These sold for $23.45 and the buyer is paying $8 in shipping. I had just listed these this weekend. They've been sitting in my death pile. So if you have Christmas items, I would suggest getting those listed ASAP. I'm into these for only 25 cents each, so cost of goods is 75 cents. Today is Thursday, December 1st, and we have 3 orders going out today. First item we have going out is this NASCAR Santa hat. Put Christmas holiday Santa hat cap NASCAR number 48 Jim Johnson, new with tags. Picked this up at my local thrift store. I'm only into it for 50 cents. This sold for $13.01 and the buyer is paying $5.30 in shipping. This is so light to ship, I'll just put it into a poly bag, keeping under 4 ounces. Next item happens to be an RA item. It's these new rope away. Picked these up on Walmart clearance. I'm into them for $5 each. I looked at the comps. Comps look pretty good. I lotted 2 of these together. These sold for $34.76 and they are going free shipping. These will probably go out at an 8-ounce rate. Next item I picked up after last Christmas last year. I picked it up at my local thrift store. I'm only into this for $1. It's a vintage 1996 Jemmy North Pole Productions musical standing snowman. Does work, but now I did notice the batteries are a little dead. Does appear to be brand new, but I did list it as used. This sold for $30.41 and the buyer is paying $8.40 in shipping. But this is actually going through the global shipping program. Buyer's actually paying about $30 to ship this. So I still have a lot of my listings that are going through the global shipping program and the eBay international shipping. Not sure how the new eBay international shipping is going to work when they discontinue the global shipping and the other one, if they're automatically going to change all my orders. I don't know. Let me know if you've run into this, how eBay handles the current listings that you have. Today is Friday, December 2nd, and we have 7 orders going out today. First order we have going out is an item I picked up at my local thrift store. It's this Motorworks by Revell. It's a Plymouth Duster cop out. It is an open box. It is damaged. I did disclose that in the listing. Couldn't believe it when I saw comps for this thing. But because it had condition issues, I listed it down just a little bit. This sold for $24.95. And the buyer is paying $8.62 in shipping. Next item is also another thrift store item, but this time I went to my other thrift store, bought an entire snowman vintage dish set, listed all the pieces individually. I listed the silverware as an entire lot. That whole dish set I'm into for $20. This sold for $27.80, and the buyer is paying $8.39 in shipping. This item is actually a retail arbitrage. Walmart clearance. Wanted 2 of these New Rope Away nerve support formula. Paid $5 each for these. I looked at comps. Comp looked really good. These sold for $34.76, and they are going free shipping. These will go out at an 8-ounce rate. This next item I actually picked up at my thrift store. Probably into each paying for about $2 to $3. I can't quite remember. Wanted 3 of these skillets together. Now, as you can see, this does not have the double ring around it. Double ring denotes that it predates 1967, but these are still vintage. So I'd say cost of goods into these is probably $6 to $7. These sold for $50.42, and the buyer is paying $12.67 in shipping. So next item going out, retail arbitrage. Picked these up on Walmart clearance. I bought, I believe, about 80 of these things. It's this deconal fungicide concentrate. I'm into each bottle for $1.50. This single bottle sold for $23.45, and it is going free shipping. This next item I actually picked up at a auction. They had an auction going on. This was probably about over 2 years ago. Close to my house, I picked up a case of these Sylvania Super Saver light bulbs. Thought I delisted these because the last time I shipped one of these out, these were actually stored in a barn, so the buyer complained, said they had like spiders and cobwebs and things in them. So I thought I delisted it. Apparently I didn't. What I did with this is I actually took some compressed air. I kind of blew out, tried to hopefully get a lot of that out. This comes back and the buyer complains. I will probably go and delist these, but we'll see how this goes. That entire box of light bulbs, that entire case of light bulbs, I only paid $2 for. These sold for $12.45, and they are going free shipping. Last item, another retail arbitrage item. I picked these up last year, and right after Christmas when my local Walmart starts clearancing things off. Went in when they had 90% off. I picked up these Jolly Rancher candy canes. I'm into these for 25 cents. These sold for $4, and the buyer is paying $6.20 in shipping. Today is Monday, December 5th, and we have 16 orders going out today. Also, too, I got a couple packages in the mail today. Okay. This is from Kevin, Commonwealth Picker Flipper. So I actually got 2 packages from Kevin. Oops. So Kevin sent me 2 stickers, one of his business cards, and signed. So Kevin, if you watch, I've got tons of these stickers. I don't need any more, thank you. So what he sent me were one of his Christmas ornaments. Merry Christmas 2022, Commonwealth Picker, to Richard from Reagan. So Kevin and Reagan, thank you very much. And where it's going to go is over here on my Christmas tree. As you can see, I already have a couple. I've got 2 of Kevin's original first year bulbs. This one's 40 of 40. And this one's 23 of 40. I also have one of his tin ones. And right over here is last year's one, and Reagan signed it. It's 3 of 40. And also, too, you'll see I have some of his little Inamans. There's one there and one there. So we'll go ahead and get that put on the tree. Another one from Kevin as well. Another sticker and 2 cards, one signed by Kevin and one signed by Reagan. Another sticker. I went and ordered 2 of Reagan's handmade Christmas ornaments. Reagan did sign the back of it and put the year. So we'll get these on the tree as well. So Kevin and Reagan, thank you very much. First order we have going out is the single plate. It is vintage, Vermeer, Germany. Put flowers, dessert / salad plate, tea party, wedding party. Had 13. I picked up 13 of these. I picked up 13 of these on a high bid haul, not the one I'm tracking. I had taken 6 plates and did them as one listing with 2 available, and I had 1 left. So I listed this one singly. This sold for $7.90, and the buyer is paying $5.90 in shipping. This next item, thrift store item. This was actually in the free bin. So when I see Bibles and they're in pretty good condition at the thrift store, I go ahead and pick those up. This happens to be the Holy Bible Old Testament. It is 24-point giant print edition. So if you see these, the giant print, these sell really well and really fast. Listed this last week. This sold for $42.46. And the buyer is paying $5.50 in shipping. This next item, I actually got when I went and picked up one of my high bid hauls probably a year ago. He had some extra stuff that people didn't pick up, and he just wanted to know if I just wanted to take it so he can get rid of it. I said, sure, went through it. This thing has been sitting in my death pile for a while. I listed it probably 3 to 4 months ago. It's a Marie Osmond Bit O' Honey, Bit O' Bunny, Mint Green, Patty, Mohair Bunny. So into this for nothing. This sold for $7.61, and the buyer is paying $3.49 in shipping. You've seen me sell these before. This happens to be the last one. Picked this up on a Hot Wheel box. I paid $2 for the entire box. It had a complete Hot Wheels crisscross. I went and decided to piece it out. Sold 3 of these already. This happens to be the 4th one and the last one. This sold for $9.31, and the buyer is paying $5.30 in shipping. So when you see Hot Wheel lots, especially the tracks and things, you might think about picking those up. This next item going out is an RA item. I picked up probably around 24 to 26 of these. Lighted 2 of them together. As you can see, cost of goods is $1.50 each, so cost on both of these is $3. This sold for $11.86, and it is going free shipping. This so light it'll go out at a 4-ounce rate. This next order I picked up at my local thrift store, paid $3 for it. It's these vintage Teletubbies. These do date back to 1998. I just showed that on the tag. These sold for $39.06, and the buyer is paying $9.98 in shipping. Next one, another thrift store item, happens to be the sewing foot pedal. Paid 50 cents at my local thrift store. And all I did is I looked up the model on the back of this to find similar comps. So I put FC 1902 sewing machine speed control foot pedal for Singer 3-prong. This sold for $14.41, and the buyer is paying $10.85 in shipping. Another thrift store item, I had picked up an entire dish set. It was actually in 2 boxes at my local thrift store. It was only $6. So the way I listed it all in sets of 4. I've already made my money back, and I did that on the first order. We have these 4 Bulgergraph, if I pronounce that correctly, Heritage White Soup cereal bowls, set of 4. I put 5 by 3/8 Castlemark USA. And on, I don't know if you can pick this up, but it is stamped. And that's how I was able to identify what this was. These sold for $16.96, and the buyer is paying $10.71 in shipping. Okay, while I was packing today, I had a mishap. I actually had a set of the bowls. They actually fell off my shipping table. One of the bowls broke. First time that's ever happened to me on shipping or packing an order and having something break. So here's right here. And it is in pieces. So what I did, when things like this happen, it's always best to reach out to the buyer and give the buyer a couple options. I gave this buyer a couple options. I could, one, give them 25% off since it was a set of 4 bowls, or they can elect to cancel the order. If the buyer requests to cancel the order, then you don't take a ding on not being able to fill an order. In this particular case, the buyer did reach out to me right away before I got headed to the post office. She said she was a little disappointed that one of the bowls broke, but she was okay with that. She said she'd take the 25% off, and so I shipped that order out. This next item, also from that dish set, not the same buyer, different buyer. This buyer came in and bought 3 of the dessert bowls. Now, I did have 4 of these. What happened was, if you watch the video, I'll post a link right up here. When I was working on my eBay office, not good, just broke something. I had dropped the light and it landed on one of these dishes and broke it. So I had to, when I got to list it, I only had the 3 to list. These sold for $12.71, and the buyer is paying $7.99 in shipping. This next item, also a thrift store item. It's been in my store well over a year. I knew it was going to be a slow seller, but I knew it would sell. And this sold for some pretty good money. It's this Ranger Boats shirt. The tag is Kudzu. I've never heard of that before. But it is large graphic print, as you can see right here. And on the back, it also has that large print on there as well. Now, when I listed this and took photos, I actually showed on the sleeve It had Ranger Cup. So the way I listed this was Vintage Ranger Boats Team Issued Pro Fishing Tournament Ranger Cup shirt size large. When I looked, I didn't see that many out there, so I did list this quite high. This sold for $67.96, and the buyer is paying $9.75 in shipping. So next order, another dish set from my local thrift store. This one I'm also into for $6. I've already made my money back on this set as well. It happens to be these International Stoneware Heartland Village number 7774. I allotted 4 salad plates together. I actually had a total of 8, but the other 4 were slightly different print. So I listed all of these prints together. These sold for $18.66, and the buyer is paying $8.39 in shipping. This next item I actually got free. My ex-brother-in-law was an Army recruiter, and he had a bunch of stuff, and he just gave me a bunch of it. So I listed these U.S. Army keychain. It's like a dog tag style. Army of One. So cost of goods is nothing. This sold for $7.61, and it is going free shipping. It's light enough. It'll easily go out at a 4-ounce rate. Now, one-off items like this probably isn't worth your time, but I actually had multi-quantities of these. I've already sold 4, and I still have 5 available. So that's where you make your money, is on the multi-quantity, because it's one listing and they just keep selling. Another thrift store item, it's a pair of these Levi's 501 3834. They weren't vintage. I'm into this for just 75 cents. These sold for $27.95, and the buyer is paying $8.20 in shipping. One thing I wanted to talk about as well is when I do clothes, especially jeans, because a lot of times you get a lot of jeans, and once you get them all packed up like this, it's hard to tell. And then if you have ones that are the same size, they might be slightly different. So what I do is every time I do clothes, I actually do a unique number, and this goes into my custom SKU. So that way when I'm pulling orders, I know exactly which pair it is, and I don't have to worry about pulling the wrong one and shipping the wrong one. Next one is actually an RA item. It's this Hot Wheels Disney Pixar Light Years. It's the Zurg fighter ship. I'm only into this for $1. This sold for $8.59, and the buyer is paying $13 in shipping. $13 in shipping because this is light enough. Will go out first class. So at $13, that tells me that this is an international order. This next order, you haven't seen me talk about these in a while. It's these Cuthbert Son England original Christmas tree teacup with saucer green band. The reason why it's important to put the green band is because they do make a knockoff set of these that are made in China that look just like them, but they have a red ring around them. So the green rings sell for a lot more. This was probably one of the first high bid hauls that I picked up. I was into the entire dish set for only $31. I had already made my money back well into the thousands on just that dish set. Only have a few pieces left. This buyer came in and bought all 5 of the cup and saucers that I have available. That's what the saucer looks like, and then you've got the teacup. So buyer came in, like I said, and bought all 5. These sold for $44.30, and the buyer is paying $13.37 in shipping. This next item, another RA item, it's this Al Green Greatest Hits. Picked this up on Walmart clearance, only paid $5 for it. This sold for $20.43, and the buyer is paying $3.49 in shipping. Now, when I actually ship at LPs, I use these LP boxes. Makes it so much easier. If you notice, it's got the creases on here. So you can go probably at least 5 to 6 albums in just one of these boxes. But just shipping one in here, it's easy, it's light, and it saves time on shipping. So if you're interested in these, I do have an affiliate link down below in the description if you're interested. Those are the items we have going out this week to go ahead and close out the weekend sales. I do these what sold, so as a reseller, it gives you an idea of things that are currently selling on eBay right now and what the value is. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, helps the channel. Also too, if you're not currently subscribed, consider subscribing down below and hit the bell notification. You'll be notified the next time I do a video. Until next time, keep picking.